lovely ladies and handsome gents. Thank you for coming to watch my channel. Okay, I got some stuff to tell you. Some fragrances make me sick, 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 sick. Oh. That's not what you want to see me do. Anyways, okay. So these fragrances, I actually like most of them, and put it on, and then found out it didn't like me. So this isn't really a fragrances I can't stand video. This is a fragrances that can't stand me video, really. So I just thought it's an interesting subject to me anyway, so I would go ahead and share it with you guys and gals. And by the way, this is Talk to the Hand Reviews. I'm Bo the Reviews Lady. I produce content Mondays and Thursdays. And yeah, so please feel free to subscribe if you are so inclined. So I've got stories for some of these, and some I don't have any stories for. So I'll start with, I think, the ones that I don't really have stories about, but that I didn't do well with. Okay, the first one is Tom Ford Black Orchid. I never owned it, but I got too close to it at the cosmetics counter, and I like it. I like those, like, I want to say it's like Monoi or something very tropical smelling, but let me tell you, I smelled it for a second, and at second 2 or 3 I realized I must get away from here immediately. Okay. This one, I don't really have a story about it, because the story is just that I can't wear it. It's called Lulu from Cacharel. It came out in like the late 80s, I believe, mid-late 80s. And this is a gorgeous fragrance. It's a very strong floral, and I can't wear it. It gives me a headache. But I used to use the shower gel instead, and the shower gel would stay on me. You know, I mean, I would wash the shower gel off, but the fragrance was so fragrant that it would stay. The shower gel all by itself would stay on me. So Lulu, that cute miniature, I haven't opened it yet in like, how many years? From the late 90s? I don't think I ever opened it. So I'm going to be opening this at some point, not today, but it's a little cutie, don't you think? So that's another beautiful fragrance that I love that does, I can't really wear it. Okay, and the next ones, I have stories. Okay. Christian Dior Poisson. No. Poisson? No, Poisson means fish. I remember when I used to show Christian Dior Poisson. Poisson, 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 not Poisson, right? I got corrected as some, I guess they were French ladies I was showing the fragrance to, and they started giggling when I said, would you like to try Poisson? They were like, oh, it's fish. You asked me if I want to try some fish. I was like, oops. Anyways, okay. Poison launched a few years before we got it at one of the stores I worked at. And I was really excited to try it. I never had tried it. And when it came in, I smelled it, and I was immediately in love. So very in love with Dior Poison. Poison. I just, like I normally did. And not long after, I started to get a really bad headache. I started to feel nauseous, and I had to leave work for the day. I went home, I took a shower, I had to go straight to bed, and it stayed with me like that for like, I think I might have called in sick the next day. But fragrances, they really do sometimes have the power to mess you up. So that one, Poison. Okay, and this is one of my earliest fragrance memories from high school, and I don't know why it was. I was on a speech team, or there was something I had to go. I had committed to going like on a long drive to another school to do, I don't know, it was a speech competition. I don't remember what it was, but it was something like that. And so we all rode together with the speech coaches, with the speech coach. It was myself and I think 2 other people in the car. And there was this other lady that came with us last minute. She was from another school or something. I'd never met her, I'd never seen her, talked to her, or anything. But anyhow, I rode and I started feeling kind of sick, and I needed to roll the window down a little bit in the back, and this lady was like, "Roll that window up." Anyways, she had this really strong fragrance on, and it really made me nauseous. That whole day I couldn't do much. I couldn't really do my little mission, my little high school, whatever it was. But it messed me up, you know? And it was, I made sure to ask her, "Oh, excuse me, what is that fragrance you're wearing?" I was nice about it, you know, because it's making me sick. "Oh, it's Este Lauder Youth Dew." So, Este Lauder Youth Dew, I don't care for the way it smells. I know a lot of you do. Someone was nice enough to ask me to do a video about it, and I had to say, "I'm really sorry, but it makes me sick." Because I hate to say that to people, knowing, especially if you really love a fragrance, that you have a part of your heart in it, and to say to somebody, I don't like that. You know, I don't really want to be like that. I feel bad, but I don't care for Youth Dew, and I have a really bad memory of it. Okay. And last, but most spectacular. Okay. My mother always wore Chanel No. 5, was one of the fragrances she wore. But it was cologne concentration at the time. They used to make Chanel No. 5 in a lighter concentration. It still had great sillage. It still smelled great. But somewhere along the line, these fragrance houses have become more and more interested in putting lots of perfume oil in these fragrances, and sometimes it brings them up to the point where it's too much for me. And that has happened with Chanel No. 5. They don't really sell the colognes anymore. They might. I could probably find a vintage one, or maybe you know if they do. But bet your bottom dollar in a black Dodge Nitro. Bet your bottom dollar in a black Dodge Nitro. One man on me, can't no man harm me. I can't believe these haters is all on me. Okay, you knew I had to bust out a little dance. Okay, so the story about Chanel No. 5. Did I have an 88 Datsun? No, Datsun was Nissan by then. I had an 88 Nissan? I had an 88 Nissan. This guy talks about his 88 Datsun. How did he get an 88 Datsun? It was Nissan by then. Anyways. MC. Bo, the refuse lady. Okay, so the Chanel No. 5 story. I was like 19 or 20 years old maybe. And I had a boyfriend at the time. And I knew that I loved Chanel No. 5. And he bought me for my birthday a bottle with the refills of the pure perfume oil spray, the purse one. And we went out that night to a nightclub, not a nightclub, a place where I would have been allowed to go into because I wasn't 21 yet. But I think it was like a jazz nightclub where there was a lady performing there. You know, it was, and they had a nice dinner. It was one of those places where some of the booths had curtains. Anyways, so my story is, I sprayed it all on me. We went out to dinner. I was too sick to stay. I went out to the car, threw up in the parking lot. I don't think I threw up in his car, but I did throw up in the parking lot. Why? Chanel number 5 changed. So, it's unfortunate when you love something and it doesn't love you back. Very, very sad. Do you have any stories like this? Where you really like a fragrance, you bought it, you wore it, and you found that much as you loved it, you just couldn't, it wouldn't let you. Please write down below, because that is interesting. That's interesting to me. What fragrances can people not tolerate? You know. So anyways, that's my little shtick for today. Thank you so much for joining me here on Talk to the Hand Reviews. Don't forget to subscribe. You can like this video if you liked it. Okay, I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.